So I'm out here at the new house and property. You know, it's interesting because we're not out here when the workers are here. You know, it's not like we're on site. And so we come here and there's some things that happen and I'm like, what happened here? I'm about to show y'all behind me. But I was really hoping that the trench for the electricity and electrical conduit, I'm trying to sound like I know what I'm talking about here, was going to be dug. And it is not, which we did have, you know, more rain. It's like I said, y'all, it's like we have a significant downpour for a day. It doesn't rain for 3 days, so it takes, you know, gives it time to dry out, and then we have another downpour. So it is not going in my favor. But somebody was out here doing something. I just don't know what. So I had showed y'all, you know, how this got all smoothed out and is looking so much better. There are some tire marks. I can't point because I got stuff in my hands over there. So, you know, more trucks. I mean, that's going to happen. That's to be expected. But this is what I don't know what it is. So the well is supposed to go just past where that water is sitting. So I don't see anything sitting there. So I don't know if they tried to do something out here. I don't know. Interesting. So I'm in the new house, obviously, and yes, I am sitting on my kitchen island because I can and I want to. So it's my kitchen island, I can do what I want. So I was hoping that it would work out this way. We have had to film the Q&A about our new house and our future plans and all of that be able to film it from the new house. I wasn't sure if it would line up, and it did work out, so I'm excited about that. Just to be able to be here, I'm here by myself, and just kind of enjoy the quiet, answers y'all's questions. So I have had a flood of questions about everything that's entailed with setting up a manufactured home and kind of our future plans and all of that. So I thought that it would be good to do a dedicated Q&A. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into these questions. It is a little echoey in here. I apologize for that, but there's nothing in here, and I really don't know how I can fix that. I opened up 2 windows over here, and I have the front door open. That's what you just heard was the storm door. One to kind of get a cross breeze in here for myself. So I don't know, we will just dive into it. Apologize for the echo, but we will just go ahead and start with the questions. Okay, so do y'all want to hear how non-techie I am? It's really quite hilarious. So I normally just copy and paste all the questions into like a Google Doc and print them off. Well, I tried to do that and it said that my storage was full, so I couldn't copy and paste. So I left it open on the laptop, brought it with me, and it seems like it's gonna work. So I got around that. I'm saving a tree, y'all, by not printing the questions. Okay, so, all right, we will just dive into the first question. The first question, a lot of these questions are actually really good and I feel like pretty informative as far as like setting up a manufactured home and stuff like that. Okay, so Sarah Jane asked, what was exactly included in the home price, putting up electricity, septic, and getting the lot ready, or did you have to pay for that separately? So that's the storm door. I did try to hold it open, but it didn't work, so I'm sorry. So that's the noise that you're gonna hear in the background. So everything for us is included in the pricing. There is different ways to do this. So if you have the means of doing some of this work yourself, or if you do want to pay for it separately, you can, but it all can go into your loan. So it is a construction loan. So we happen to have already purchased the land. So we had that, and then everything else is in this construction loan. It's actually all rolled into one is what we ended up doing. So the electricity, the septic, the drain field, the home price itself, when you go to the home place, most of them, their prices is for the home, delivery, the skirting, and setup is typically what all the home price includes. That doesn't include your impact fees, your well, your septic, and your electricity, but they have a ballpark based off your area of what those prices would be. And they give you a price quote for that. And then, you know, they find contractors that do all that work. So it's hands off for us as far as all that work entails. It's basically like having a builder and they handle it all, like having a general contractor, and then they disperse all the work. So very good question, because a lot of people don't really understand how it all works. But again, you can do it differently if your circumstances are different. Okay, so the next question is from Gracie G, and she asked, who is bunking with who in the new house and how many bedrooms again? Are you going to decorate the bedrooms a certain way? Can't wait to see all the videos. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. I'm sure you guys are just ready to be in your own space, and I love the kitchen. It's so nice. Thank you. I really do like the kitchen. I was pleasantly surprised. So again, we bought this based off of floor plan, so we didn't walk a model, and I really thought the kitchen was going to be smaller. So I am glad that it feels bigger. And I do like the cabinets. In a perfect world, I think I would like white cabinets. I actually had those in one of our houses, and I did like them, but they were a bear to keep clean. And I've mentioned this many times. I need practical in my life. I don't have time to keep scrubbing cabinets. So I actually, if I went and purchased cabinets myself, I would choose not a dark wood, but like a hickory, I call it, that shows some of the grain. I think that is what I would choose. It just kind of brings some warmth to it too. Anyways, I do really like the cabinets. I'm not a huge fan of the countertops, but it's not the end of the world. It's not that big of a deal. I'm thankful, but it's not something that I necessarily would choose. And in fact, one of the models that we saw, actually the first house, if you know, with the air vents and switching, ordering a new house, all that house actually had darker countertops. So I did like those better, but again, it's not the end of the world. And black, your question was not about the kitchen, was it? And black appliances. If you know, you know. I actually like the black appliances. So anyways, your actual question. I do like the kitchen myself. Okay, anyways. Who is bunking with who in the new house? So we are gonna have, it's kind of similar to what we had at our old house. It is changing a little bit. So our 4 oldest daughters will be sharing a room, and then all of our boys will be sharing a room, and our little girls will be sharing a room. And then I will have one of the bedrooms as a schoolroom storage room. It's kind of our setup. So this home is 5 bedrooms, 3 bath. Praise the Lord for 3 bathrooms. We are so excited about that. And we are kind of finagling the floor plan some to make this work for us for that arrangement that I just said. And I will get into that because I think that's one of the questions later is what are our plans for the house? And if we have to switch it around, you know, we will. It's not the end all be all. If what we decide and what work we do, you know, doesn't end up working, we can change it. It's not a big deal. So, so those are our plans right now for bedroom arrangements. And we actually did give the boys a choice, like how they wanted to set it up. And they did say that they all wanted to be together. So hopefully, you know, that goes over good. They're used to being together anyways. Okay, so the next question is, what do you plan to do for a storm shelter? So we actually don't really plan on doing anything. And this is a huge question that I get, and I think a lot of other people that live in a manufactured home get as well. We live in Florida, for those of you who don't know. I don't know one person that has a storm shelter, okay? Like, at all. I don't know if that's more of a northern thing. People in Florida, I mean, help me out if there is, and I just don't know of them. Now, a stick-built home or, you know, brick house or so have you, I get would be more sturdy like in a storm, okay? Manufactured homes in the state of Florida or in any state that, wherever you live, they have to be built to a certain wind speed. And our home had to be built to a wind zone 2 wind speed. And I used to know the mileage. I want to say it's 110 miles per hour is what this home can withstand. So whenever there is a storm, I'm telling you like my storm plans, okay, that comes in and there's evacuation zones, A, B, C. If they call for evacuation zone B and we're in evacuation zone B, we will evacuate and we will leave. We can go stay with other family members. There are shelters that are put up at schools and churches and stuff. I don't know that we would do that because I would prefer to be with family. So we have these thoughts, you know, of what we will do if we have to do that. And that is perfectly fine. We would much rather be safe than, you know, to stay if there is an evacuation. With that said, if our zone is not called to evacuate, I don't think that we would, okay? Honestly, the hurricanes that happen and all that stuff, while they're crazy, we don't see a lot of storm type weather. It's like in the non-hurricanes, we would just all of a sudden have a tropical storm and a flood. I can't remember. A flash flood is the word that I'm looking for. And a flash flood like come out of nowhere. But whenever we actually have a hurricane that we prep for 3 days, there's nothing that happens. So, and I've lived here most of my life, and so has my mom. And so anyways, we don't have a set plan for a storm shelter. I did actually Google them to like see, and there are things that you can buy, and they are not exactly cheap. I can't remember how much it was, maybe $6,000 to $10,000 for this storm shelter, and it fit like 10 people. So I would need 2 of them. I don't know, it's just not practical. We will leave and go someplace safe if we need to. Okay, so the next question is from Miss Karen. Hi, Karen. So the question is there a foundation? If not, what will you do to hold it sturdy with the water table being so high? So again, that's kind of all on the home place. So there is not a set foundation. It is the standard manufactured home setup that there is. You can, upgrade and do those things, but you're talking like $20,000 or more in order to do that. And, that just was not in our budget. We are pretty comfortable with the way that it is. I just explained, that it's, built to withstand a higher wind speed. They're called hurricane straps all around the house. That's what y'all are seeing in the previous videos coming from the house down. Those are hurricane straps. And there's an earth anchor as well. And there will be an inspection that happens. It's got to pass code and all of that. And all of these new codes and laws any building that you do have been put in place because of all the previous years of learning of how things should be done. And just like with any other house, whether it's a manufactured home or a stick-built home, there is maintenance that's going to have to happen. And that's one thing that I researched, because there's a releveling that needs to happen with manufactured homes. And it doesn't have to happen all that often from the research and the companies that I have talked to. And if you do think that it needs, they come out and they look at your house and, they make sure everything's level. And if it has to be re-leveled, that's the type of work that they do. So, as far as the water table being so high, that's just Florida. So I guess we're used to it. Like, honestly, our old house, my kids would dig a hole and they would hit water like all the time. It's just the norm here. I guess just like people in the Midwest are used to that type of atmosphere and weather. We're just used to it. So it's not, too big of a deal to us. Okay. So Miss Donna says, I think that you should build a shed to make it an extra pantry or laundry area. Or where is the laundry area? Is skirting included in the house? And are you putting in central air in your house right away? Okay, so we actually did build a shed. That was in a previous video. I will link that below. We have talked about many, many things, lots of plans, lots of things, to come up, hopes and dreams, all the things. So I will include that in this video, where we are hoping to be. So this is the laundry area right behind me. It is, smaller than what I'm used to having. I am kind of wondering how I'm going to manage that, but you know what? I'll figure it out. Like, just like anything else, when you're moving and, certain things change, we will manage and we will adapt. As far as having a shed outside for pantry space, we could totally do that. That is an idea that we kind of have tossed around. One of the things that we actually want to do, our big vision long-term, is to add on a big living room, dining room off of right here. Because this, I don't want to say, it's not super small, but for our size family, we actually need a bigger table as it is. A bigger table and a living room. So then this would extend and be more kitchen space, and then we will have a big living room, dining room off of this. That is like 5-year plan, okay? Roughly. That's not going to happen, right away. Lord willing, if things change, we will gladly do it, but that is kind of like our plan. In that space, we have talked about adding a huge walk-in like closet for big food storage and or laundry area / room. And then this could just be a mud room or in kitchen pantry space, something like that. So that's kind of like our big plan. So I think that we would save our money is what I'm trying to get at. Instead of purchasing an extra storage building, save our money to put towards the house addition. We do need an extra shed, and we know that versus just the one that we have. And Nathan kind of has some thoughts and plans for that, but that's more for household storage. But we definitely could still put food in there. So you know, things will change and adapt and all that, and we'll kind of just figure it out as we make our way towards that. Okay, so the skirting is included in the house as well. That's what I was saying previously. The set price for the house is the house, skirting, delivery, the steps, and I believe the AC unit, I believe. So yes, we will have central air right away. Like, I don't really know a house in Florida that does not have central air. That was a thing, I think, in the 60s and 70s. And I think it became common and standard to have central heating and air. And that's what we have. We don't have gas. We don't have propane. That is in some homes here. It's not the norm, though. Norm is to have electric burner. I got a comment on that I was going to miss cooking on gas. And I was like, I didn't have gas. So it's electric. Everything's electric, you know, AC, central heat and air. And I'm very thankful for it. Did I mention we're in Florida? We need that AC. We need the AC more than we need the heat. So, okay, so the next question is for Miss Lynette, and what will be used to make the driveway gravel? So we do have some thoughts on that as well. All of these are thoughts and plans because we can't really do anything yet until they are completely done. So we more than likely will bring in some more dirt. It's actually looking so much better. So we'll be bringing in more dirt. I'm not sure how many loads yet. And then a load or 2 or 3 of what's called crushed-crete is our plan. So it's like crushed up cement, and I believe it's the most economical when you're talking about gravel or stone or millings for driveways. So that is what we are planning on doing and spreading that. We kind of want to do a circle driveway. So I don't know that we will do all of that right away. Again, it kind of depends on what they finish with the house here and what our budget will be left for the driveway. So we're kind of, you know, in this waiting game. But yes, we will be doing something. Honestly, the last several times that we've come, we've parked in the driveway and it's been fine with the dirt the way that it is. We haven't pulled all the way up though yet. So, because it gets softer the closer to the house that you get. But yes, we will definitely be doing a driveway. Okay, so then the next question is Miss Michelle. She says, I know that it's been a long journey for y'all. It really has. However, do you plan for this to be your forever home? So that's a very good question. We do not have any plans for moving. Nathan and I are not movers. This is if you count moving to my uncle's, so we lived in the townhouse, our first house, second. Moving to my uncle's was our 5th move in our 20 years of marriage. So this will be our 6th. We just aren't big movers. We lived in our old house for 12 years. So we have long-term plans. So I don't say, but at the same time, you just don't know where life throws your way, if God calls us someplace else or what have you. So we are always open to whatever the Lord would, you know, call us to do. Okay, so Miss Janet asked, do you need anything and is there an approximate move-in date? So Miss Janet, you are so sweet. So lumber, we need lots and lots of lumber. No, for real though. As far as like household stuff, I mean, organizational type stuff, bedding for the kids, stuff like that. But lumber, we want to build a front porch. And we also want to build kind of like a mudroom / porch off the side of the house here. And obviously we have all the garden plans too. And we have yet to purchase a lawnmower. That is the next like big thing on our list that we need to do. And that's kind of entailed because we have to get a trailer, and we have one lined up. My brother has one that we're going to use. And you know, like it's just, then we have to store it until we're here. So we almost did it last week and we were like, let's wait and see. So anyways, that's, we really need a lot of lumber, but we are excited for all the projects and plans. So, approximate move-in date. So was it a week ago? I'm really bad with time frame, y'all. I feel like it was 2 weeks ago at this point. The builder told me 2 to 3 weeks. And as y'all saw, the house is still looking the same from this point. We do have an AC unit, so that is huge. I'm looking at it right now. on the outside. So that's huge. We still need power and well. And again, the rain is significantly delaying us, unfortunately. So no exact move-in date. And I'm like, I said to Nathan, is just one day he gonna call me and be like, all right, you can move in. I'm sure that obviously we'll see changes and know that it's coming closer, but no, we do not have a move-in date yet. And it's really, I just can't wait. So I'm trying to be patient. Okay, so the next question is from Nodak Norsky. What about internet? Have you thought about taking your storage boxes out there for kids to put shoes in case it rains? Then you could just carry it up the steps and the kids could put them on under the overhang. So internet, we should be fine. It's going to be slower than what we are used to. So especially with YouTube, that's going to be a difference. But years and years ago, at our old house, whenever I first started YouTube, I had to upload a certain way. And so I think I will potentially have to go back to doing that. But Nathan looked into it, and I believe it's next year they are looking into putting fiber out here, actually. So that will be exciting. So then once that's in, we won't have a problem at all. Okay, so the storage boxes, that's actually why I got those. I thought they would be dual purpose. So I shared in a previous video, I got these the black storage boxes that you get at, is it Costco? With the yellow lids that are pretty sturdy and weather tight. I got a bunch of those, one thinking we can pack all of our stuff from my uncle's house and move it here. And then those boxes we will use to keep stuff in the storage shed to keep it like rodent proof, weatherproof. And honestly, if we needed to, if we don't have our other shed done, which I don't think that we will, but you know, we'll get there. I could leave those out and we could cover them with a tarp. Like we have talked about all these things. This way, I don't want to put cardboard in the shed because we are out in the country and mice and all the creepy crawlers that I don't want in my stuff. So that's partly why I got those. So yes, I have thought about that. And we are hoping to soon-ish do this mud. I think that might be on the top of the list, is this mudroom deck porch on the side of the house, because we really need that area for all of us coming in. I mean, if you think about, I mean, we have 13 people in our family. That is 13 pairs of shoes right there when you walk in the door. You know, that's not, if we have 2 pairs of shoes, that's 26 pairs of shoes. So, we do, and my thought was I could use those bins for anything really, honestly. So, the next question is I've already answered, was from Miss Lucinda Butler. And what's the plan for the driveway, which I mentioned, and are you going to put skirting and decking around the home? So the skirting does come with it. This is just open because they're not done working and there has to be an inspection done. So they have to see visibly underneath the house. So skirting is like the last thing that happens, is my understanding. We do plan on, I don't know that we will necessarily, we talked about putting a door right here where this window is. I'm kind of going back and forth on that now. I think it would help. I don't know. We'll just have to see. That isn't like #1 priority. I had mentioned that we would like to do an addition. So once that addition's there, I do plan on having like a deck to be able to get into the addition from the outside, like having like French doors going out and then a deck. We do want to put a big front porch on the front of the house, like the full length of the house. And eventually, you know, like all these, like we're talking about doing this in like 3 phases. Remember I mentioned lumber? And then we want to do a side porch on the side of the house. So essentially almost a wraparound porch is what it will be on the front of the house. I don't think that we will wrap the full house. So front porch that will wrap to that side over there. And then we will have this like mudroom porch over here. So Miss Amy asked, she said, I think you said it was 4 bedrooms. What's your plan on room division for the kids? I think I remembered you saying something about putting the big girls in the additional living room. I may be wrong. So it's 5 bedroom, 3 bath. So there is a second living room. We are going to turn that into the big girls room. All that really needs to be put up is a door jamb and a door. I think it'll work well. We actually had somebody look at it and was like, I really think, you know, it would be relatively easy to do. And then 2 of the bedrooms, our plan is to take down the wall in between them and make that a big room for the boys. Again, we had someone look at it already and said that they thought that it would be relatively easy to do. So really, all these projects, it's like, oh, that sounds easy. Yeah, that's not that hard. So we will see. But that is the plan. So then because of us changing the living room into a bedroom and then taking down a wall, it still is 1, 2, 3, 4. It still will be 5 bedroom, 3 bath. So we're not really losing a bedroom. And then the smallest bedroom is going to be my schoolroom because I've got to have a place to put the stuff until we finagle all the things. So then L Crafts asks, not sure if you mentioned the square footage of your home. It looks huge. I love seeing double wide mobile home tours. Looking forward to your move-in video. I guess I have another question. Are you going to gravel all around the house? I hope that you will, to avoid all the kids from bringing in mud around the house. Can't wait to see you decorate it. Thank you so much. So the square footage of the house is actually 2136, so 2,136 square feet. So it is a fairly decent size. We are very thankful, and I really don't have much. The only thing that I'm apprehensive about really is the living space and dining space. I know that we like to have a lot of parties and people over, and we have a lot of people. So that is why the plan for adding on a big living room, dining room, and also thinking future whenever our kids are grown and they're bringing their families over and such. So I really haven't thought about graveling all the way around the house. That is an idea. That's why, we want the porches, is to kind of help just the aesthetics. It will look nice. But that's more our plan, is to, do the porches. So Camo Bows, hi Camo Bows, said, beautiful property and home. I'm so happy for y'all. Are y'all going to build a big front porch or a big back porch with a roof? A big wraparound would be beautiful. Yes. Are y'all going to build a chicken coop? Are you guys getting ducks for the pond? Fruit trees, blackberry bushes. I know you're having a garden. Yes to all the things. So we do want a big front porch that will be covered. We had talked about the side porch not being covered, and then we could always add a roof if we wanted to later. We probably will want that. So, we'll see. As far as the back, the deck off of what would be the addition, again, this is all like future plans. Like we kind of just have to get in here. I don't plan on having that one covered, but again, we live in Florida, so we may, end up covering everything. So Miley really wants ducks. So we will see what happens with that. We do plan on doing chickens relatively soon after moving, and gardens. And I want every fruit tree and berry bush imaginable. So there's actually wild blackberries out here. And there's some along the fence line that I'm going to try to flag so that we don't cut them down. So then we can just have wild blackberries, and I can just buy raspberry bushes instead. Okay, so I am talking about all these plans, and I know that this is going to take us time. This is a big undertaking, doing all of this work and stuff. So just know it's going to take us some time to get there. I don't know when the porch is going to happen. We don't really have a time frame because it's all kind of baby steps. First we have to get through the house happening, and then the safety features as far as and practical features, the driveway will be first. And then, storage solution. And then the stuff that we want to do inside the house, which I've mentioned some of them, the doorway to what will be the girls' room, and then taking that wall down for the boys' room. And I don't know if that means that we're going to have to repair the ceiling or the flooring, if we're going to have to pay for those things as well, as what I'm getting at. It all will just depend on how demolition goes. And then the other big thing that we want to do for that, well, I think that's a question. Maybe I'll get into that in a little bit. Okay. So Miss Bonnie left me a very sweet comment. Thank you, Miss Bonnie. I appreciate it so much. So then Pauline asks, how far do you need to travel to your church? Wherever we live must be near a biblical church. Love your encouragement and energy and trust in the Lord. Thank you so much. So we actually will be roughly the same distance that we are right now. Just right now we're more north, and this is going to be more south, I guess. So not too far. We will still go to the same church. We actually have a lot of friends that live in this area that have kids in the same youth group. And I was like, score, we can carpool, we can help each other out. So I'm looking forward to that, because where we are now, like nobody is around us. So Northern Willow says, I vision a wraparound deck. Your place is beautiful, perfect for kids to grow up and explore one day at a time, grow it all in due time and enjoy the process. Thank you so much. And yes, it's hard. That's like my number one thing is I want that front porch so bad. And I'm trying to be patient. But you know, all will happen in due time. Okay, so faith-filled boy mom life said, did you go with the standard mobile home walls or did you upgrade? So I have mentioned this before. It is all the standard mobile home walls. So this type of house, I'm trying to word this right. So this home, we could not do any changes to, unfortunately. So they have basic homes that you can purchase. And even I asked, because I wanted to put flooring throughout the whole house. You can't. The factory will not let you change anything or pick anything. It just is the way that it is. I wish that they would do that, but then like say, because if you want this floor plan, but you want to sheetrock it, it's like you can't. It's not an option. You just have to buy it as is and then do whatever you want to it. So that is unfortunate, because there was some things that we would have preferred to like order them to have done, and one of them was change this window to a door and the flooring throughout the house. And there was something else too, but there's nothing that, I mean, it's just the way that it comes. So there is no option. And when you ask, they're like, nope, that's the way that the factory does it. It just doesn't change. I gotta switch my legs around over here. So with that said, it is the standard mobile home walls. So that was never gonna be an upgrade that we were going to do in any of the homes that we looked at, because honestly, that upgrade is like $10,000 to $15,000 to add sheetrock, when we could do that, you know, more affordably ourselves. Is it a big project? Absolutely. So that is our plans, and it has been, but now I'm kind of rethinking it, because Tiffany from our small town life, they put a home on piece of property, and their bedrooms have the batten walls, and she's like, they are so easy to clean. And then I have a friend who also just got a home put on their property, and she's like, you know, I don't like the looks of them, but they are so easy to clean. Like, you just wipe them down and that is it. And that really kind of sounds nice in my life. So my plan was to sheetrock all the bedrooms or shiplap. I might try the technique of just pulling down the strips and mudding it and seeing how it looks. If it looks terrible, then we'll sheetrock. I actually really want to shiplap the entire kitchen, dining room, and living room and hallway in my bedroom. Don't, Nathan, get used to shiplapping. The girls want their room sheetrock, so I think I'm just going to pull the strips down and mud and see, you know, how it looks and go from there. Oh, Little Faith asks, oh, my computer just cut off. Okay. Oh, Little Faith, what is the timeline for utilities? I'm so curious about how it's done from scratch too. God bless your family. I'm so happy that this is coming together. Thank you so much. So the timeline for utilities is, I really don't know. I wish that I did. So I emailed last week, I put this in a video, and they had said, you know, as far as they knew, well, had not been done, and it obviously isn't done. So I don't really know what the holdup is besides the rain, and I'm assuming that the contractors are working on, you know, other projects. And so we'll probably, there's a screw that I just hit on the counter because that makes sense. So I will probably email or call tomorrow and just see, you know, like what's going on. So COG wife mama asks, what are your decorating plans? How are you going to close in the extra living room for the older girls? I'm trying to figure out new painting plans for my house. Oh my word, the colors are so overwhelming. They are. Are you a bold person or a white canvas person? So, and I actually can't see the rest of your question, so I apologize. So in our first house, I was a pretty bold color person, like deep, not jewel tones, but more warmer, deeper colors. And I guess even in my old house, I was too. I had a red kitchen for a long time. And then somewhere along the line, I just got to where I was really liking the lighter colors. So I really want a vintage thrift store collected look. That's how come I'm picking up all these little things from the thrift store. And I really, like I said, want to shiplap. One, I just think would be easy to put over these walls is just to do like the plywood, the thin shiplap, and just put it over it and then paint that. And I plan on doing a light color. Maybe not quite white, but a lighter color. And I actually kind of want to do that in the bathrooms, but in a like beige, like a grayish color, like a gray tan. I just think would look really cool. And so as far as the extra closing that in, I had mentioned that it really just needs a doorway and a door. Both of my brothers are in construction and they are going to be over here helping us as well. So I'm really not too worried about it. So I'm kind of looking forward to lighter colors. With all that said, I was wanting to redecorate our old house and I was kind of tired of the colors that I had chosen. They had been there for a long time, and so looking forward to some, new fresh colors. Okay, so Melinda asks, how will you store holiday and bikes? So Nathan is planning on building another shed. We are not naive enough to think that that one shed is going to do it for us. We are used to, having the storage. That is going to be a huge learning curve for us. Holiday stuff, again, an extra storage shed. So we will get there all in due time. In which that kind of rolls into the next question from KD2474 was, will you be building a garage? Your side door is perfect for location for an attached garage. Also, do you need to worry about getting propane or natural gas hookup? Since you're in Florida, I don't think you need heat though. Are all your appliances electric? So I end up talking in between questions and I answer these questions. So I'm sorry. So I would love to build a garage, absolutely. But as I had mentioned, our project list is quite long. So I don't know. We had talked about doing a metal garage, but we really want to do this addition too. So, it's all just going to kind of depend on what we can afford, once we're there. Nathan is going to build a wood shed. That's one of the other things that I'm really nervous about is not having a garage. We have always had a garage since we've had kids. And so we are in the habit of, leaving stuff in the garage just like most people do with their garages. So in one sense, it'll be nice to not have a garage to clean. But we also need like the practicality of, there are needs, like there are storage things. We have tools and, we'll have paint cans and all of that. So, Nathan's gonna build a wood shed, I believe. Like he thinks, he's been looking into it. So that is what we're gonna do. And I had mentioned doing a mudroom porch off the side of the house here. So it would be perfect to attach a garage. So, that would be nice, but it's not a super cheap project. So I don't know that we would be able to afford to do that. So, but that is something that would be nice to have. Okay, so, Creamy Marina asks, what would your stance be if any of your kids ever wanted to build their own house on the property once they're old enough to move out? I would love that. So unfortunately, our land is zoned for one house for the 5 acres. And honestly, that was a deterrent for me. Not just for our kids, but my mom, my sister, anybody else. Like I would love that if a family moved onto our property, and maybe that could change the zoning, or we could do like a shed house or something. That would be really nice. And it is, while it's 5 acres, it is only 5 acres. So there's not, and we also have the pond to consider as far as like, you don't want a house super close to the pond and stuff like that. So, I would love to have more land to be able to have, my kids to live on it as well, or any of my kids that wanted to. But I don't know that that would happen, practicality, but it would not be because I did not want them to. Okay, so Ben Lubby 7875 says that you mentioned in your previous video that no matter how big or small, anyone can start a garden. Yes, she was telling me her garden plans, and I did answer you. So, I love that you are starting a garden. It is, I just think, so fun and so important. It's a great skill to learn. It is intimidating, and if your plants die, don't give up. Just keep trying. Okay, so Chrissy Cece asked, are you going to have the kids help maintain the property, or do you plan on hiring a lawn maintenance service? We will not be hiring any lawn maintenance service, and the kids will be helping. We have already talked about that. Peyton and Jackson specifically are excited and enjoy doing that type of work. I plan on helping mow as well, and Nathan, obviously. And then, once the other kids are older, Taylor and Addison will probably help as well. I'm hoping that some of the kids, whoever's interested in gardening, can have their own garden area, but they will definitely, help mow and maintain things. And then once we have animals, help maintain that. I just think it's a great skill set, and a lot of our kids are interested in doing that. Okay, so from Smiley Wiley, my question: can I come live with you all? You are so sweet. I love your family and how God blessed you. I'm just kidding. But yeah, can I come live with you? You are so sweet. Sure, come on. Bring your sleeping bag and your pillow. We got plenty of room. So then the next question is, Diane White, do you think that you will ever put in a pool or just take the kids to where you are now to swim? Also, will you build a garage? So I would love to do a garage too. So we will more than likely eventually do an above ground pool. I don't think that will be this year. We might do like a basic, like the pole above ground pools that are cheaper, just so that the kids have something, because it gets brutal, y'all. It gets so hot. I don't know. I would like to do, a nice above ground pool one day with a big deck around it and all of that. And, hopefully we will do that one day. If not, we will just go places to swim. There is a community pool that's, I guess it's about 30 minutes from here. But we actually have good friends that have a swimming pond. And Miley actually mentioned that. She's like, we will be closer to the pond so that we can go swimming there. I was like, actually, you're right. I didn't even think about that. That's a good idea. And so we have an open invitation there to go swimming. So, and that will be another thing that will take some getting used to. Our old house, we were blessed. Our neighbor let us use her pool. It was such a blessing. And then last summer, we're at my uncle's house and there's a pool. So it will be an adjustment. I did mention to Nathan about getting a basic above ground pool that will probably last, maybe 2-3 summers. And he just said, we'll see. So we'll see. Okay, so the last question is, what are the top things you're going to do right away? And I think that's the question that I was thinking about. So in order to make the house livable, as much as I would love to just shiplap right away and do some of the projects in the kitchen that I'd like to do, that's not the top priority list. The top priority list is making that living room a bedroom for the girls, which really entails just the door door. We have to kind of finagle this closet thing, take down the wall for the boys' room, make that one big room. And again, we don't know what that's going to entail. If we have to fix the ceiling and the flooring, we will, see what all that entails. And then the other big project is from in here, there's not a dedicated pantry space. We are going to build a pantry as well. So those are the big things that we need to make this space livable. And then after we get those things done, we can then prettify it and do the walls and whatnot. I really want to do the kids' walls before we move in, because I just think that would be easier. I don't think it'll be that hard to do the living room walls when we're living here. Just bedrooms, it's hard to do stuff because then it's you've got so much stuff in there. And with us having multiple kids in a room, that's just a lot more stuff, and beds and stuff to take down and move and all that. So that's kind of our hopes. If we get the walls done, that would be a bonus. If not, we can do that after we move in. So anyways, that is it. And I have rambled on a lot about all this. There was something else that I was going to mention. I think that was it. I think that's it. So thank you guys again so much for your love and support and your questions. We are so excited and can't wait for moving day. I'm trying not to be discouraged and just trying to be patient, because we will get there all in due time, and trust in the Lord's timing. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see y'all in the next video.